Hey guys, happy almost New Year. Happy New Year's Eve. I hope you guys have some fun plans for tonight, some fun things to do. Go party, welcome in the new year. But at the moment, for now, what we're going to do today is talk about some of the movies of 2024. So I'm going to rank all of the movies that I've seen in 2024 in a tier list. And guys, I only have 35 movies. I know, oh my goodness, I didn't do too well this year, but I'm going to do much better next year. So bear with me, but it's still going to be fun because these are movies that you guys know and love and probably have watched all of them as well. So it'll be fun. You guys will be able to be in the thick of it with me and roast me if I get something wrong. There was some really, really great movies. Obviously, there was some great standouts. Obviously, there were some that were hyped up way more than they should have been. And obviously, there were some surprises too. So let's go through the ones I watch. And without further ado, let's do it. I'm going to keep these S, A, B, C, D tiers because I think that that'll be able to capture my thoughts more accurately. I was gonna do some fun tiers like bloody fun, best of year, blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, well, what if it's not bloody, not fun, but it's like super, super good? I don't know. I feel like the categories are gonna get a little bit convoluted if I did that. So I'm gonna stick with the S, A, B, C, D, and I feel like that will be able to represent my thoughts better. So let's start to rank these. So this first one is Lisa Frankenstein. This is the first review I ever did. This is kind of a dark rom-com. It's fun. It's got Catherine Newton, Cole Sprouse. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It wasn't my favorite of the year, and guys, I have to be completely honest with you, I do not like romance movies at all. I did think this was fun. One thing I loved about it was the bright colors, and I love horror set in the 80s. That definitely makes it higher on the list for me. But in general, like, I don't know if I'd watch it again by myself on my own will, but I think that I would watch it for Valentine's, a little Galentine's, a little bit of comedy in there. So it's a fun one. It's a fun one to watch with friends, I think. So there we go. Imaginary. Oh my God. Burn this movie. This is D. Burn this movie. I have been trying to get Chauncey Bear out of my mind ever since I went in and saw this movie. My God. Blumhouse really let us down this year. Imaginary was all over the place for me. I felt that the script was just so bad. It felt like it was written by AI. Nothing about it stood out to me, and I really didn't like the Imaginary world. It was just not my cup of tea. Moving on, Immaculate. Okay, Immaculate, I was really hard on it in my review. To be honest, I felt that it was full of cliches. I didn't even particularly love Sydney Sweeney. Unfortunate thing is I love nun horror. I love religious horror, I do. But this one just felt like it brought nothing new to the table. There was cliches. The ending wasn't even all that shocking for me, like some people said. It was kind of silly. I understand it's kind of cool that they did it in one take. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. Also, I just had the most horrible experience watching this one. I was in a theater where it's just like couches. It's kind of like an artsy theater. There were seats behind us, but it's more couches, and you have to get there early to get a good couch. And it was just me and someone else, and two people behind us. So, and the two people behind us were talking the whole movie, and we even tried was like, can you guys blah blah blah, and then we had to. The person I was with had to get someone involved because they wouldn't stop talking, and it was like we could not understand the movie at all. And before you guys say, Linz, why didn't you just move to a different seat? Because I got there early. I wanted that couch. I deserved that couch, okay? I didn't want to leave the couch. So it was just a bad experience in general. But to be honest, I think that I was a little bit harsh on this one. I should give it another try. It's definitely better than Imaginary, so it's going C for me. Next is The First Omen. Guys, I don't know if you know this about me. I cherish the Omen 1976, the original Omen movie. I absolutely love it. And I also am one of those people, maybe one of the few, that really do like prequels. I love prequels. I think that The First Omen kind of seamlessly kind of bled into the Omen from 1976, which is a hard thing to do when you have a movie come out in 2024 and you're trying to make it a prequel to a movie that came out in 1976, right? But I thought that it was pretty good. And this is an example of nun horror that I like. You know, opposed to Immaculate, I thought that Nell Tiger Free did really good. I really like the premise of it. I like our main character. She's very, very easy to root for. Their intentions, the nuns' intentions, were definitely more clear in this one, with why they wanted to bring about the Antichrist. But this is A for me. I was excited to get a prequel, get something, because I think the last Omen film we got was the remake 2006. Ugh. It just goes to show you some movies just don't need to be remade, you know, because it's like there's nothing that new technology brought to The Omen that made it better than it was in, 1976. Anyways, I digress. I could talk about The Omen all day. I love it. Let's move on. Abigail's S tier. S tier is just like best of the year. Oh my gosh, it's just so fun. Talk about a fun vampire ballerina movie. You've got Abigail, who's just like a cheeky little asshole who's doing a pirouette, a plie, a rondezjean right as she comes to maul your face and eat you alive. I mean, it's pretty fun, and I like that whole idea, and I like the antagonist being this little girl, and I thought that she did so good in the role. In general, it was just bloody. It was fun. It's definitely one that I'm going to buy this year, and it's one of the best of the year for me. So next we have The Strangers Chapter 1. This is D tier. Burn this movie. Burn it. Oh my God. If I wanted to watch a Strangers movie, I would watch Strangers. I remember when this trailer came out, everybody was like, okay, so we're just getting The Strangers. And in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, that's what it looks like. But I was hoping the trailer would be misleading and they would actually do something unique, something fun, something different. Nope. God, this movie sucked. I'm so sorry. It brought nothing new to the table. It was just the same as the other ones, just your typical home invasion movie that was not compelling on any front, to be honest. It was frustrating. It was just a rinse, lather, repeat of what we got in the first one. So this is Burn It. And also, oh my God, it ended on a cliffhanger as if we want another movie. Like, I do not want another one of this. Okay, I saw the TV Glow. Ooh, this is a tough one for me because this is an A24. It was super artsy. It really impacted me, guys. I bawled like a baby at the end of this one. Oh my gosh, it impacted me so much. I don't even know what it was about this one. It was like, it's one of those that's kind of hard to put your finger on. It's just like makes you emotional. When the lead character comes out and he's basically apologizing for who he is in that final scene, it just like hit me like a bag of bricks. And I was crying so hard. The person I went to fell asleep in this one, if that tells you anything about it. It's a slow burn, but it's one of those movies that I think I would only watch one time because it impacted me so much, especially the end, that I think that if I watched it again, I wouldn't have that same impact and it might ruin it a bit for me. So I think I'm going B because of that. I don't think I would watch it again, but for what it was a very interesting one. It was gutting. It was devastating. So it's one that will definitely stick out of my mind for all of time. Like if someone brings it up and be like, oh yeah, that movie kind of tore me apart. So that's B tier. In a Violent Nature, I'm gonna do C tier for this because listen, I like the premise. I was excited for it, following the serial killer. It's basically talking scenes of violence from different perspectives, which is kind of cool. There are some kills that are rough in this one. The yoga kill was kind of got to me. God damn. But would I watch it again? No. Was it very compelling? Not really. It was a lot of walking. It got a little bit frustrating with the walk. I mean, I get it. The point of the movie was to follow the serial killer and just explore violence from different perspectives. But again, like we knew nothing about our characters. It was kind of disappointing, and I wish that they didn't show his face, actually. I feel like that was kind of a ruiner for me. So, I mean, it was good for what it is. I appreciate what they did here, but I wouldn't watch it again, and it's not my favorite this year. The Watchers. Okay, so guys, if you guys saw my review for this, when I was a kid, about 10 years old in New York City, someone thought I was Dakota Fanning. So I've always liked her as an actress. I feel a close connection to her. We have a bond, Dakota Fanning and I. So I liked her in this. It's fun to see Dakota Fanning. I liked some of the visuals here. I liked the use of that bright yellow bird. I thought that was really nice to the eye. Some eye candy throughout the dark forest, and you got this cute little bright bird that she's supposed to deliver, and she gets lost in the woods. I really like the creature design here. I like the folklore here. This one is pretty good in general. I didn't love the twist. I felt like it fell apart in moments and I was like into it, then kind of out of it. But in general, The story was kind of cool. Like I said, I like the creatures. I like how they're trying to emulate and take over. Like, it's a very interesting concept. But I think this will go B. A Quiet Place Day One is A tier. I really, really liked this movie. I think it was perfectly done. Really, this whole movie can just be like chalked up to a terminally ill woman just wants pizza. And then you've got these creatures trying to kill you. You know, that's like the side part. But really, she just wants the pizza. Give her the goddamn pizza. It's like a nice story. Like, I like how it's simple in that sense. And I like how Joseph Quinn's character quickly kind of understands that about her, and that's what she wants, and he kind of like doesn't understand it, but he does at the same time. Is like, okay, she yearns for that nostalgia feeling. She yearns for that jazz bar that her dad would take her to. She wants Patsy's Pizza, you know, the little things in life. And I think it had a good overall message. I know some people complained about the cat being very unrealistic, Frodo, but I loved the cat. I did. It was like, if anything happens to that cat, I'm out of this. I'm walking out. I'm getting up. I'm going. I don't know. I thought the cat was so cute. I liked the parts of it. I thought the script was nice. And I like the simplicity of the story, and it was impactful, and there were some really sweet moments too, but it was still action-packed and, of course, tension-packed, because it's a Quiet Place movie. You have to be quiet the whole time. It's like the littlest, you know, noise is going to cause them to come get you. So I think that they did a good job with it. And again, you guys know, like I said, I like prequels. MaXXXine, I'm going to put A tier as well. You know, I love horror set in the 80s. I love Mia Goth's character here. I'm one of those people that probably prefer Pearl over X, which might be controversial. And then MaXXXine is next, to be honest. I think, actually, MaXXXine and Pearl are kind of equal to me. I like the story. I went with my mom. We had a good experience. It's just fun. I like the whole vibe of Hollywood and the Night Stalker. I enjoyed this one. Gotta love Mia Goth. Longlegs, the overhyped movie of the year. I don't know if I would actually say it's overhyped. Obviously, the advertising for this movie was spot on, and Osgood Perkins knew what he was doing, or at least the marketing team knew what they were doing, because this movie had everybody in a stranglehold. We're like, we gotta see Longlegs. This is the movie of the year. Was it a letdown? Not for me. I liked it. I actually did like this one. I'm between A and B tier, but it's way better than Lisa Frankenstein. I'm going to go A tier. I thought that what they did here really well was create a super unsettling atmosphere to tell the story in. I thought Nicolas Cage was creepy. I thought that opening scene was just so, like, bone-chilling. Like, oh my god, this is so creepy. It lost me a little bit with, like, the dolls in the supernatural parts. I was kind of confused on that. But overall, I love how it feels like. It just feels like the 90s. The wooden panels on the walls and kind of the dark coloring throughout. I liked it. Twisters is also going to go A tier. Twisters was fun as hell. I thought that they did a good job with it. It was very tense. I love the opening scene. I love how they incorporate chases that are really fun with fun music, a great soundtrack in this movie, but they also incorporate chases that are a little bit more sketchy, a little bit more tension building. So I thought they did a good job in a mix of making it fun, but still keeping you on the edge of your seat. I like a good disaster movie, and I thought this one did a good job, and it was fun. And of course, Glenn Powell, he brought a lot of people into the theater. And Daisy Edgar-Jones was great in this too. I thought that it was casted pretty perfectly. My one issue with this one was, like, this movie just, like, somehow in the script, it's like all these people, they portrayed the people in Oklahoma as, like, not knowing how to deal with a tornado. It's like, oh my god, ain't no love in Oklahoma, just a whistle of a long black train. Lord help me, I'm starting to get unhinged as time is passing on this, but the next one, oh, time to go off trap. Holy, this is D tier, this is F tier, this is, okay, guys. This might be controversial. I don't know. I am so sorry. I have to apologize in advance to my M. Night Shyamalan fans that absolutely love and cherish him. Trap was probably my least favorite movie of the year. I did not like it. It was a huge miss. We got catfished by the trailer. It looked fun, to be fair. The premise was so cool. It was based on an actual operation that happened, Operation Flagship, where the FBI invited all these criminals to an NFL game. They lured them in and then they arrested them. kind of cool. I thought Trap was going to be so interesting, but this movie quite literally relied on conveniences at every single turn. I thought the script was so poor. There's even one part where he just like teleports. At the end, there's also like the most blatant display of incompetency in the cops. Like, these are the most incompetent cops. As soon as they left the arena, the movie fell apart for me. It dragged on and on and on. I was like, oh my God, let's be real. This movie just has the most blatant display of nepotism. I'm so sorry. You know, it's like, it feels like this movie was made solely to advertise M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's music. And while I think her music was fine, it was fun, she's a pretty good musician, she's not a good actor. And it's unfortunate because I think Josh Hartnett is an underrated actor. I've always kind of liked stuff he was in. I love The Faculty. Also, like, the FBI agent saying, oh, the person we're looking for is not going to get nervous at all. He's just going to cause chaos and be chill. It's like, no, my dude was sweating. I mean, he literally tried to get his daughter to go under that like trap door that one of the musicians came out of. Like, what? When he said, I was like, what? It was just, oh, the script, the everything. Oh, and it was just like they didn't do it in a clever way. It could have been so cool if they did more clever things in how he was trying to get out of the arena. But it wasn't clever to me. Everything that happened at the arena was spoiled in the trailer, and I was expecting more. And it could also be my expectations because it looked like it was going to be good. But oh my gosh. Also, like, I don't understand the whole causing chaos thing. Like, if he's pushing people down the stairs, I get it. It diverts the cops' attentions. But at the same time, it's like they have cameras. What a way to single yourself out. Like, things like that, causing explosions. Oh gosh, I could go off for days. Okay, I'm done. I did not like Trap. I really did not like Trap. I think it was my least favorite of the year. And it's unfortunate. I'm so sorry, guys. M. Night Shyamalan fans, I'm sorry. You know, but I think a lot of people do say he's either hit or miss, and this was just a big miss. But let's move on. Cuckoo. Ooh, Cuckoo. I'm between A and B. I really did like Cuckoo. I thought Hunter Schafer was great. I think I'm going to put it A because I think Cuckoo was interesting, and there was some scares in this one. I thought, like, when that creature, so to say, comes around the corner, in that one house, the honeymoon house. Oh man, I haven't seen this movie in a while. It was really kind of creepy, and I thought that it was unique. Just the whole premise and the sort of like preserving species, and it wasn't what I was expecting. So I think that they did a good job, and I don't think they spoiled anything in the trailer. And I like the cinematography here was kind of unique and kind of modern. It was pretty good, and I like how the name of the movie, Cuckoo, kind of has a dual meaning to it. I thought it was a clever movie. I thought it was pretty good. Alien Romulus is S tier. I was very surprised by this one. I'm not a huge fan of the Alien franchise. I was thinking this was just going to be another rinse, lather, repeat, another Alien movie, but I was wrong. The last bit of this movie makes this movie a bona fide horror movie. That alien-human hybrid, holy shit. Talk about nightmare fuel. I thought that this one was genuinely scary. I thought that they stuck to the bones of the Alien franchise. I thought that they were going to maybe go a little bit more modern, but this one is set between Alien and Aliens, and it's a parent, which I really like, and I like that they have the artificial people, and I really liked that character in it. And to be honest, this movie wasn't even made by the acting. It was made by the storyline. I thought the story was great, and I like how they embellished on the facehuggers a little bit more. I like that one scene where it basically just turns into a Quiet Place movie where they're like, well, if we raise the temperature in the room to our body temperature, won't we be invisible? And then they're just kind of like walking around the face huggers, and it was pretty cool. And there was also some gruesome kills in this, so really good. Best of the year for sure for me. Tarot is D tier. Tarot could have been good. It could have been good. I'm not into tarot stuff. I'm not into astrology, things like that. But for the people that are, it was kind of cool how your tarot card reading was like the entity or whatever you want to call it that came after you. It could have been cool. Unfortunately, I think this is one that suffered from being PG-13 because there were some gruesome kills, but we didn't get to see any of it. Like, we didn't even get any gore. It could have been really a lot more fun than it was. So that was unfortunate. Also, just the characters were dumb. I didn't like the script. Like, they just made the dumbest decisions, especially my Taurus representative, because I'm a Taurus. This Taurus guy was just kind of a Nimrod. So I was like, come on, do me better. But yeah, it just wasn't my favorite. I didn't like the script, and nothing about it was particularly compelling. So another kind of dumb PG-13, trying to be funny, but trying too hard movie, in my opinion. Blink Twice. I'm between B and C for Blink Twice. I think I'm gonna go B. This one was fine. Unfortunately, I love Channing Tatum, and I kind of didn't like seeing him in this gross role as Slater King. I thought that the aesthetics of this movie were really cool. There was very much bright, vibrant coloring throughout the movie. It was fun. They had kind of cool camera shots throughout the movie. This was Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, so that was kind of interesting to see. But unfortunately, I think they relied more on the aesthetics of the movie than the actual message, and it's a dark message. This is the first movie I think I've ever been to that has actually issued a trigger warning before the showing of the film, so I was like, oh god, what did I get myself into? Because I didn't think this movie was about sexual assault, which is what it basically is about. So I don't know. Again, yeah, I just feel like they overlooked a couple details here, but at the same time, it was pretty engaging. It was kind of fun. So it's B tier because I think I would revisit it, but I'd have to be in a specific mood to revisit it. So Afraid, AI, that's D tier. Oh God, Blumhouse. You know, if they want to do these AI movies and they just want to keep like popping these movies out because, oh, they think it's trendy or whatever, like, just stick with Megan. Like, we do not need this movie. We do not need, like, an Alexa antagonist gone wrong. It's just too much at this point. I'm a little bit over this AI craze. I do like Megan, and it's like, you already had a good thing going with Megan. You know, she at least has a dance, and she's fun to watch, and she's got a cool costume, and she stands out because people wanted to be her for Halloween. Aya does nothing for me, and this movie just, yeah, there's a lot of issues. Yeah, go see my review if you want to see me tear it apart a little. Not great. I would not recommend. Beetlejuice. Ooh, okay. For this one, I'm between S tier and A tier. Okay, I had so much fun with it. It's S tier. I had so much fun with it, you know, because it's just one of those movies. It's definitely overstuffed. There's so much going on. There's so many subplots, but I thought that it was a good follow-up to the first Beetlejuice. Some people I know did not like that the central couple didn't return for this one, but at the same time, it's like, well, first of all, I want them to have peace. Second of all, they're probably a little too old to be acting in this as the ghosts that probably don't age. And then you have Jenna Ortega, which I don't like love Jenna. I don't like hate Jenna. I think she does a good job. I think she has a really cool look. I can understand why Tim Burton really likes her. But I like how Winona Ryder came back. I love Catherine O'Hara. She made me laugh in this. There were some funny moments. It's just fun. Like, it's going to be probably an October watch for me going forward. So I really just had a good time with it. Not to mention that it was really beautiful, like the fall foliage throughout. I really liked the setting of the movie, of course. So, you know, Beetlejuice was better than Beetlejuice to me. But I just never was super into Beetlejuice. So that's why I think this one also surprised me. I didn't have super high expectations, but I just had a good time with it. It's just a fun one, for sure. Speak No Evil. I'm going to do Speak No Evil in A. Because I love James McAvoy, I have a little crush on him. I thought that this one was well done in general. I actually thought that the acting of I do not know her name, Mackenzie, her name is Mackenzie, I don't know her last name, but the wife of the couple that comes to stay with James McAvoy and his family. And I thought they did a good job. Obviously, this is a remake to a movie that didn't come out super long ago, a movie that came out in 2022. So definitely they were quick with it. This is one that Blumhouse did that I do think was pretty good. But, you know, the reason why it was good was because of James McAvoy, really. Yeah, so it was good. The Substance is S tier. You know, I have a little bit of issues with The Substance. I do, and I'm honest about that. I do not like the ending, and I still stand by that. I think that it gets a little bit ridiculous, and I know that's kind of an unpopular take at this point, but when you think about all the movies that came out this year and you compare The Substance to all the movies that came out, it's a standout. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It's body horror at its finest. And Demi Moore in this is so good, so vulnerable. Like, what a cool movie for her to be in. I love how this movie was shot. It makes you feel uncomfortable almost the whole time with Dennis Quaid eating and in the close-up and almost the ASMR throughout and all of the cool bright colors and just the modern settings and the beats, you know, the soundtrack throughout is kind of like, whoa, this is super modern. And it's a super well, I wouldn't say super, it's a long movie, but you don't feel like it's long because it kind of has your attention every moment throughout the movie. So I really love it. It's great for sure. Terrifier 3 is A tier for me, but then again, I'm not a huge Terrifier fan. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Art is growing on me. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of 1 and 2. I thought that art was a little bit unnecessarily cruel in those. Like, I didn't love the long, drawn-out torture scenes of, like, innocent teens. I don't know, it made me feel a little gross. That's just me, you know, I'm kind of empathetic. I really, like, immerse myself into a movie, and I love gore, I love practical effects, but for some reason, Terrifier 2 is a little bit much. That bedroom scene, I don't like that. But Terrifier 3 was fun, and I actually got the comedic relief that I think I was missing in the other two, personally. Art was funny. I love his obsession with Santa. I love his fun little glasses. Like, he was a little bit more cutesy. I hate how I call art cutesy, but I don't know. I thought he was more fun in this. The kills actually didn't really bother me. I think that they utilized more so quick camera cuts than they did in the previous two. So you weren't staring at anything super long. There weren't super long, drawn out torture scenes. I really enjoyed Terrifier 3. It's actually, if I could put it between A and S, I would, because I do think it's a little better than some of these in A, but I wouldn't, for me, just because I'm not like a Terrifier fanatic. It's not S, but I really liked it, and it surprised me. That was the best thing about it. I went to this movie. I actually was like really at odds at myself even going to this movie because I went by myself. I mean, nobody I know likes Terrifier movies, so I went by myself at like 10 a.m. and it's like, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I'm glad I did. I loved it. Smile 2 is S tier. I love Smile 2. I think they did a great job with this. I think that the character development is actually really nice on this one, and it basically takes everything that they do in Smile and amps it up to the next level. I was really impressed with it. I thought the scares were genuine. That smile face is really kind of a creepy, unsettling sort of visual, and I think that I think they really have something here with Smile, and I love how they ended it. It ended it in a way where it makes you question the nature of the Smile entity and how it is going to immerse itself in the third one, if we get a third one, which I'm sure we will because of how that ended. I hope we do. So Smile was great, not to mention the central performance of Skye was amazing. Actually, arguably the best of the year. She did absolutely amazing. So Smile 2 was definitely a highlight for me. Next, we got Heretic, which is another S tier. I loved Heretic, A24. I love the simplicity of this one, just really 3 characters, 1 setting. This movie is a proof that if you have an excellent script, you can have an excellent movie, because most of this movie is just dialogue, but it's so compelling. The monologues, the rebuttals, the back and forth, and I love how they take kind of a could be controversial subject of religion, and they go back and forth with like kind of pro-religion, kind of anti-religion, and they do it in such a tasteful way that it's not offensive, I don't think, at all. And it kind of explores all sides of it. And we've got these 2 Mormon missionaries that also are amazing. And Hugh Grant is awesome in this. Actually, you know, I said Skye in Smile 2 is one of the best performances. Hugh Grant is up there too. I mean, he's just so compelling in this. I love the dialogue. I love the tension building. There's this amazing monologue where he compares religions to board games and how one religion is really just the iteration of the previous one. And it's thought-provoking. I love a good thought-provoking movie. This is a slow burn. This is the perfect way to do a slow burn. I think that it is fabulous. It might be my favorite of the year. I absolutely love it. Gladiator 2. Okay, I might put this C tier. No, I'm gonna go B tier because I think that the action is fine. I think the action is fun. I think some people will really like it. I think in general, like, it definitely keeps your attention. I like the over-the-top costumes, over-the-top display of the Roman Empire. I didn't love our central character here. It's kind of one movie that didn't really even need to be made, to be honest, because Gladiator ended so perfectly. I do believe that, but I'm not a huge Gladiator fan, so not being a big Gladiator fan, like, that didn't bug me too much that they made another one. I think that it's actually kind of cool, and people love that Roman Empire shit. So, I mean, for me, it's fine. It's like a typical action movie that is fun, but also I hated the CGI here. So, I gotta be nitpicky. I would actually put this between C and B, but you know, I'll give it the edge. B. That's fine. Y2K, oh God, it's a bad movie, but I'm gonna put it C because it's silly, and I think that to the right audience, it will be kind of a fun one. And also, actually, the reason it's C and not D is because we got Fred Durst, and he's fucking awesome. And we got a good soundtrack here. But, you know, it's got Rachel Zegler in that. Take it with that with a grain of salt. And it's not very compelling. It expels all of its energy in this big Y2K party when all of the machines come to life and come after it. And then it just kind of like drags to the finish. I don't think the pace is very good in this one. I wouldn't say boring, but it's like, okay, it's just dumb. You know, it's dumb, but I feel like you could have dumb fun with this, especially with all the references and this nostalgic, and it opens with like an AOL chat, and there's like these IMs between the two characters. And these old toys. So I feel that this one's kind of nostalgic, kind of fun. We got Fred Durst. We got a good soundtrack. That's C. We'll give it C. Okay, Inside Out 2. This is such a change up from all these other movies that I've ranked so far. Inside Out 2, I will say I liked Inside Out much better. This isn't really my type of movie, but I do like some of these films that are kind of like this. I'm between A and B. I think I'll give it B. I don't think I would watch it again. I like the first one much better, but I do like the premise of Inside Out. I think it's really cute. I think that it's kind of a cute idea with all the like islands and the memories, and there's some fun stuff. And then this one obviously explores the idea of anxiety, which is kind of cool. I don't know, all the new emotions. It's kind of a cute idea. I like it in general. Mean Girls, the Mean Girls remake. Oh, this could be controversial. For me, this is D. Burn it. Burn it like the burn book. Listen, I love Mean Girls so much that I just didn't think this needed to be made. I don't love musicals, to be honest. It's not really my favorite type of thing, so I would never watch this again. I didn't like the performances. Like, you can't help but compare them to the actual people that you love from Mean Girls. Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried. Like, yeah. Ugh. Okay, Woman of the Hour is one that came out on Netflix. I believe it's Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. It's an interesting one about a serial killer who goes on this dating TV show, and it's kind of based on a true story, and they don't even really know the extent of his crimes, but he was charged with like 7 crimes or something, but they think it could have been over 100. It's pretty good. It's A. It's A. I like it. I think that Anna Kendrick did a really good job here. So that's where I'll put it. Salem's Lot, the remake that came out on Max this year, 2024, based on Stephen King's book, Salem's Lot, of course. I'm going to put this on B. I thought it was fun enough, but it was more average than not, to be honest, but I like vampire movies, so I kind of had fun with it. I don't know if I would rewatch it too much, but I think that it was a decent remake. Not like crazy, but pretty good. Late Night with the Devil is going in A. I thought this was a unique idea. I love this whole idea of like a Halloween late night show. This guy's kind of fading away, and he brings on this girl that essentially has this like devil inside her, and they just put it on full display for an audience, and they have other guests coming, like someone who denies all supernatural stuff or whatnot, and then it ends up just going, south, and it's pretty good. I like the acting here. I think the storyline is unique, so it's A tier from this year for me. Carry On, this is a good one. I'm going to put it in B, though. It wasn't like super compelling to me. It's kind of exactly what I expected. It's basically a Netflix film that came out this year in which this guy is being manipulated. This TSA guy is being manipulated to let a package go through. And the guy who wants the package to go through obviously has bad intentions for the plane that it's going to be on board of. So it's actually pretty good. My mom recommended it to me. I think that it's good. B tier. It's kind of in the middle, I think that it's compelling. I watched it. I really liked it, but it's not like best of the year for me or anything like that. Oddity is S tier. Okay. I loved Oddity. Oddity is a really good one. It's compelling on all fronts. It's kind of a slow burn too. It's an Irish horror. I love the setting here. I love the twins here. I think that we get to explore some really unique situations, and I like the characters. I think there's good development. I like how it's told kind of out of order. It's also got some genuine scares. Oh my god, these jump scares in here are actually good jump scares. Like, they're creepy jump scares. And I will say, when I saw this like wooden doll, I thought it was going to be a little bit cheesy, a little dumb. I was wrong. This one's a good one. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should check it out. It's one of my favorites of the year for sure. Nosferatu. Okay, this one is going to be interesting. I'm between S and A. I'm between S tier and A tier. I think what I'm going to do is... Obviously, we all agree, the one thing everybody can agree on is that this movie is visually stunning. It's absolutely stunning. But I do feel, and I have to be honest, that some things were overlooked, like the plot development and the character development. There wasn't really any characters that I felt connected to. And it could have just been the way they talked, very reminiscent, I assume, of the 1830s. But Robert Eggers really put on something pretty magnificent with Nosferatu. I'm going to go S tier, and the reason why I would do S tier is because when I look at this movie with all the others, it definitely stands out. I don't think it's at the same level as the A tier ones. I think it is a step above, for sure, better than a lot of these, visually, acting-wise, and just how it was made in general. I like the storyline. I think that it is a very interesting one where it's like the vampire is obsessed with this girl and basically just wants to be with this girl and is manipulating her to be with him willingly. Like, it's very interesting, and it deserves to be S tier. You know, I do have, like I said, I do have my criticisms of it, but I think that it does deserve to be up there with, like, best of the year, because it is quite remarkable. I do think that they did a good job with it, and if anything else, like, it stands out just on a filmmaking level, a cinematography level, than any of these other movies, and even that alone, I think, kind of brings it up to S tier. Okay, there's my list, guys. Okay, I know, gosh, I will do better. I'm gonna have more movies next year, but I think that encompasses kind of my general thoughts. If I look at these, I feel like that's fair. What would be the controversial ones on this one? Maybe Beetlejuice. I think people would not have that S tier, but for me, you know, I just had fun, and when I think about like a movie I would watch over and over again, I would watch Beetlejuice all over again because I think it's so fun. But other than that, I think this is pretty fair. I bet some people would put Terrifier 3 up at the top of the list, but that would make sense. Yeah, I think this encompasses my thoughts. I think that this is, in general, fair. Guys, let me know which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with. Let me know what movies I should watch. Obviously, I wasn't able to watch as many movies this year as I wanted to, but if I'm missing one, put it in the comments so that I can watch it. And I'm always looking for new movies, especially new movies of this year that I can watch and enjoy. And there's my rankings for 2024. We were given some good stuff in 2024. I love that the majority of my movies are S and A tier. I think that says something. Obviously, there were some low lights of the year, but you know, you'll get that with anything, and I will probably start all over with some low lights because, as you guys know, January is usually not a great month for new horror. But I'm excited for what this next year is going to bring movie-wise. It's going to be fun. I'm going to cover a lot more, so I'm really excited to cover this with you guys. And again, thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year. Stay safe. See you next year, and peace.